author of In the Wicked We Trust, Precious Gibson, and I got another one for y'all. I can't wait for you all to read No Grace for the Wicked. What took me so long to finish No Grace for the Wicked, honestly, was becoming a full-time writer. And I know that's like a wacky answer because technically I write all day, but becoming a full-time writer was like the biggest transition in the world. I don't think anybody could really prepare you for that. What you're giving up to become a full-time writer it's a lot. So that's what took me so long, unfortunately. I think like a lot of full-time writers or aspiring writers, I kind of had this vision that I would just write my books all day and just be this fabulous author and put out 5-6 books. And that is not the reality. When you are writing for publications and it's deadlines, like it's actual work. So that's really what took so long. I'm so sorry to my readers, but I appreciate y'all for hanging in there with me. I know it's been a long 2 years for this sequel. I think from my first book, In the Wicked We Trust, till now with the sequel, I feel like I've improved as a writer because I think I pay a lot more attention to detail. With No Grace for the Wicked, I think the readers will really see like the editing is better. The formatting is better. There's a lot that's better in the overall writing of the book. I feel like within The Wicked We Trust, no shade, but I felt like a rookie. Like when I go back and read that book, it feels very rookie. And I did pay for editing and all that, but just a first-time writer, not really doing it, not paying that extra attention to detail. So with No Grace for the Wicked, I really wanted to show that, yes, it's attention to detail, and I gave more thought, more effort, and just more overall love to my characters, I think, and just growing them and developing them, their mindset, where they are as people. So I think my readers are really going to enjoy the growth with No Grace for the Wicked. Ooh, the one thing I feel like the readers can really look forward to in No Grace for the Wicked is a little bit of karma to come Kenya's way. We know Kenya is the supervillain. Kenya is the one going around wreaking havoc in the first book, In the Wicked We Trust. So with No Grace for the Wicked, we kind of see her get a little taste of her own medicine. And I'm not going to lie, it's very satisfying to see her kind of, get dealt a few blows. So I think the readers are going to be absolutely blown away by what Kenya is going to go through and what is going to happen in the end. Oh, Kenya has really grown as a businesswoman. We got to really see her blossom into from a super villain to like a super entrepreneur. And Kenya does a lot of wrong, but if there's one thing she does right, it is her business. Unfortunately, everything that she does wrong is gonna kind of alter her business and take away the one thing that she really, really loves. But we do see Kenya kind of develop a little bit of compassion for others. Not much, but a little bit. We see a little bit of warmth peek out here and there, but at her core, she's still a villain. But we see kind of like a bossed up villain a little bit. It was very fun to write her and kind of see her rise and fall. Oh, my advice for women like Kenya, who kind of like are super villains in their real life, my advice is that, the karma does not miss anyone. And you might be winning today, you might be winning tomorrow, you might have the money, the fame, you might have it all. But if you continuously do bad things to people, eventually it's going to catch up with you. And it could catch up to you in a little way, or it could, all hell could break loose, like what we are going to see in No Grace for the Wicked. You know what? I think becoming a full-time writer both helped me in the author world because, when you're a full-time writer, no matter what you're writing about, you're forced to write every day. So you're forced to pay more attention to detail and learn different writing styles. So in that way, it certainly helped. But like I said earlier, as an author going into it, I promise I thought I would be like 5 books in since I'm going, becoming a full-time writer. So I won't say it hindered my career as an author, but I can definitely see how writing full time for publications and things, it can kind of get in the way of my own personal creativity. So I just got to still find that balance. I'm only in year 1 of being a full time writer, so I'm still finding the balance, but I don't think it hindered it at all, no. You know what motivated me to become a full time writer? I am like a lifelong lover of books. I've been reading books since I was in elementary school. I even wrote one in elementary school. I've just always loved literature. And little transparency moment, I was in year 6 of my 9 to 5, my corporate job. And I liked my job. I loved my job, actually. And if you've been following me for a while, then you know. And one day, it was after In the Wicked We Trust had already come out, and they called me into the office and they said, we know you wrote a book, but unfortunately, that is against company guidelines. And according to the policy, if you wanted to write a book, you would have to get permission to do so, or any outside business endeavor. So, someone complained, just to be open, someone complained that I had written the book and the content of the book, and it went pretty high. It went really, really high. And I kind of had an ultimatum because they said I needed approval. Obviously, management didn't approve of the book. So it was kind of like, take In the Wicked We Trust down or, walk away. So I just had to walk out on faith. And that is how I became a full-time writer. I think just the common misconception is that you don't work for anybody but yourself, and that is not true. You will work, I tell anybody, harder than you did with your 9 to 5. For one, different outlets are not always going to give you like a full-time schedule. You may start part-time, you may start freelance. It depends on the outlet, who you're writing for. So I currently write for 3. I've written for up to 5 at a time. You're going to work more than you ever have. And I think the common misconception is that it's just easy work. You just post on Instagram, and it's not. You will research, you will talk to people, you will follow up on tips, you will do a lot of work, and you will write a lot of different articles, all different word counts. So I think people just think it's really easy work, and it's not. It's very time consuming. So if you think you're just going to start your day at 9 and end at 5, no. Some days you may start your day at 9 in the morning and your day don't end till 5 a.m. the next morning, depending on what's going on in your deadlines and things like that. So I would never discourage people from blogging and getting into writing, but just know that it's still a job. Like, you're still going to work for sure. Now that I'm on book 2, going into 2025, I really just want to keep the content flowing. I'm going to be honest, I think going 2 years, almost 3, that's just too long to put out a book. So in 2025, definitely pushing No Grace for the Wicked. But I want to put out something else, even if it's just a short story, a Kindle exclusive, an ebook, something, just to keep my readers and people who've been with me since day 1 satisfied, keep them, entertained, give them something else to read. I think that's important because a lot of people have stuck with me since day 1, and I just think it would be unfair to make them wait another 2 years for a book. Oh, you be in celebrities' business. That's the coolest thing. The coolest thing about being a blogger, I'm not going to lie, I be knowing the tea, but it's a gift and a curse. Some stuff is a little too messy, but yeah, I get to being people, be nosy just a little bit. That's the fun part. And then networking, of course, like you meet some of the dopest creators, not just writers, but just different content creators, photographers, artists, just a lot of very interesting people. So it's a really fun job. I wouldn't change anything about it. Find me on Instagram the most, the Fine Author, Twitter, the Fine Author _. If you're a Facebook girly, Precious Gibson. Those are the 3 social media platforms I'm on, but the Fine Author Instagram, that's where you can catch me every day, and I do reply to DMs. Of course, I have to show them my babies. So, I mean, I'm sure y'all know baby number 1, but you get to meet her twin, baby number 2, No Grace for the Wicked, and she will be out on December 20th. Promise I will not make y'all wait another 2 years to get another book. I promise. My second baby, No Grace for the Wicked, will be available on Amazon and Barnes & Noble starting December 20th. And it is the sequel to In the Wicked We Trust. So you got to make sure you read In the Wicked We Trust first before you dive into my new baby, No Grace for the Wicked.